What is going on, YouTube and Spotify? This is the Just BSN podcast. And today we have episode 117. We are 117 episodes in this thing, man. And it keeps going more and more and more, and we keep on rolling. My friend, how are we doing? Obviously, not a whole lot locally going on. I mean, besides the coaching search that's getting more and more intriguing. Now, how's everything going?
Everything's been going well. I mean, like you said, nothing has really just been going on here locally. Everything's been kind of just quiet now that the NFL season's been over. So, I'm in reality, I'm just looking forward to this coaching search and seeing who we pick up,
Yeah.
seeing where everyone goes. Because now is where all the fun begins. Is just seeing where everyone goes and seeing the giant mix up of what the NFL is going to be for the next season.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's pretty much been the talk. I would say, we even have baseball that's going to be starting in a few months, and really, there has been trades and stuff going down, but they're just not really like anything that's been, at least for us, that's really anything to talk about because obviously, that the Guardians aren't going to do anything. Like, it's the
No.
Guardians. They don't make trades. They just sign people to 1-year deals and hope that they revive their career. Pretty much just like freaking Ingerberry, never changes in Cleveland. But yeah, man, that's pretty much been the talk of the town for now. Is just obviously the head coaching search because there's a lot of unique candidates that we'll obviously get into in a little bit. But before we get into that, I do want to talk a little bit of Cavs because they had a great game. What was that, Saturday or Sunday, when they played the Wolves at home? Just beat the brakes off them. I mean, it was a great game. They played outstanding ball for 48 minutes. And then they come in last night and they just drop a goose egg and lose to the Jazz at home, who is not the worst team in the league or anything, but they're not a great team. They just lost by like 40 points in their previous game, and then they come in and beat you by 10 at home. Just the complete unpreparedness and undiscipline of this freaking team. It's maddening. It's so sickening that this front office and Kobe Altman sees this and doesn't think, you know what, there needs to be a change, because as fans we're all seeing this and going, this is getting ridiculous. It's every single night. You have no idea what version of this Cavs team to expect. And that's not fun, especially after last season. After last year, we were a little bit spoiled. Absolutely. I mean, not many teams are going to start the year off 33-4 before the All-Star break. But this Cavs team hasn't even looked like they're really ready to be a playoff team, let alone get out of the first round. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't want to be one of those teams that's got to fight for a playing spot. Because then you just feel like Miami at that point. Like, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I don't know if you caught what Kenny Atkinson said after during the press conference the other day, but he's really blaming the team mentality, and I think he's getting frustrated with it because I'm sure he's saying we're not mentally tough enough or whatever, and it's almost like the players are just ignoring it, and it's kind of weird because the coach is saying the quiet part out loud, or saying the loud part out loud. Like, he's saying we need to be mentally tough, and we're not. And I remember the last interview, he said the same thing. He called out Jared Allen for it, like, by name. And guess what? Jared Allen's been playing a lot better, actually, because
Yeah.
like, it's kind of funny. And now, like, I feel like it's just certain players, because I know guys like Donovan and Garland are obviously playing like they're supposed to. And I think it's more speaking towards like Mobley and other guys, because yeah, Allen has picked up the pace, but guys like Mobley haven't. Other guys haven't. And I think it's once we get deep into that bench, the only ones who really care are like your Craig Porter Juniors, your Tyrese Proctors, obviously your Naquan Tomlins. But that's because they're finally starting to get game time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think something needs to happen. I know everyone was talking about DeAndre Hunter all day today and speculation that he wanted to move out of Cleveland. But and obviously we had Kobe Altman and all them saying that they want to keep the team the way it is for right now just to see how it goes. But you can't do that for much longer, in my opinion. Like, I feel like eventually you have to, number one, get out of the second apron.
Yeah.
And number two, you have to make a move to better the team and help the team get over the hump. So I don't know what they're going to do, but they need to figure out a way to start winning these ball games because you cannot go out there and lose to a team like the Utah Jazz
Yeah.
by double digits. Like, that's incredibly that's sad. You be one of the best teams in the West by double digits, and then you get turned around and get smoked by the worst team in the West by double digits.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't be happening. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if there needs to be a coaching change. I don't really think so. I think you just need to make a kind of like a splash move, like obviously like maybe like get rid of Hunter because Hunter has been abysmal this season.
Yeah, it's been a tough watch for him.
Yeah. It's been really bad. I can't watch him anymore at this point.
No, it's really, really bad too when he's struggling on both ends of the floor. And that is just something when we brought him in, we're saying, oh, cool, like we have a legit wing. We have a guy that can score, we have a guy that can shoot, we have a guy that can defend. And I gotta tell you, man, he has had many games and many possessions in games where he looks absolutely lost on defense. I don't know if the Cavs changed anything up with their schemes, or if Max Strus is really just that important, which I'm sorry to tell you he's not. I mean, I love Max. He's a great player and all. But if you really think that he is the one guy that's going to really glue this thing together, you are out of your mind. You are high as a kite, and you're just dead wrong. This team has a lot of problems, and a lot of it is up here. It's all mental. But they can't get out of their own freaking way. And the only way that you can get out of their own way is getting them off your team. I mean, it's just the way it is. Guys like Hunter, guys like Wade, Lonzo Ball instantly have to go. You could even argue at least one of Jared Allen or Mobley has to be a guy that goes. I think you only can get rid of Ed Garland if you're getting a absolute haul, because as much as I love Garland and the way that he does push the pace on offense, and he's been a lot better on offense, he is such a liability on defense. I mean, his size just goes against him in every way. He gets bullied every single game, and teams attack it on purpose. Like they know what to expect, and they know what's going to happen when you go after Garland. He's not going to be able to fight through screens. You can shoot right over top of him, and you're probably going to make it 9 times out of 10. And it's just the way it works. These teams know exactly what our weak points are, and it's not enough. And the last thing that I'm going to say, at least to this point, man, as good as Donovan Mitchell is, he is not a guy that makes everybody else around him better.
Yeah.
He's just a really good player, a really good leader, but he is not that, like, he doesn't have the LeBron effect. He doesn't have the Anthony Edwards effect, the Luka Doncic effect, the Steph Curry effect, where you are making everybody else around you better while also being the best player on the floor every single night. Unfortunately, you're just not getting with that. And that was always my one worry about Donovan when we traded for him was what exactly does this do to elevate the team from where it was before he got here? What does it do? I honestly, dude, I can't tell you. Like, I really don't know what else it gives you because you are undersized at the guard spot, especially if you're keeping Garland there. You can't have 2 guys below 6'3" at your 2 guards. That's just it's not going to work. And then you have a 6'6" small forward at any of the 3 guys that would start, which would be Merrill, Struce, or Jalen Dyson, who has probably been the most feisty player we've had, and one of the more consistent players that we've had that's taken a leap. And he's the only guy that seems to really care and like show up every single game besides Sam Merrill. I mean, I think Sam Merrill makes his team better in so many ways. He's just great on offense, and his defensive effort, man, it's there every single night. And it's just frustrating. It's also frustrating to watch your big guys struggle on defense. But they are such an important piece to the offense. They have to play. But dude, especially as Cavs fans, we know Jared Allen is almost unplayable in the fourth quarter, especially within the last 6 minutes of that fourth quarter. You better get him out. It better be Mobley and then just whoever the hell you got on at the court, and you would want to play like, Hunter and Sam and Darius and Donovan. But again, they just get bullied. And if they don't have a lead, it's hard to get out of. I don't know what the true remedy with this club is besides cutting some ties loose and making some changes. Even if that means just being bench players, fine. You have room to grow on the bench. The bench has been a weak point all season long. It's not able to score a lot. It's not able to add much variety to it. Obviously you haven't had Larry Nance healthy at all this year, so you really haven't gotten anything out of him. I almost forgot that he was on the team a few weeks ago until they, like somebody said his name. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. He's on the Cavs, but he's been out for the last month. Okay, cool. And then you still have guys that want to contribute, and it seems like they do contribute a lot more. Like, dude, Tomlin plays really good minutes. His effort's always there. His size is there. He just needs to beef up a little bit. And then Bryant, dude, I like him as a backup center. Bryant is perfect because he still is able to stretch the field and actually like give you some sort of outside perimeter shot as a big man, because Mobley's shot's flat. I don't know what happened to Mobley's shot, but it's flat. It's unbearable to watch. I almost never wanted to see him shoot another 3-pointer again in my life because of how bad it looks. And he's still struggling at the free throw. Man, I have no idea what to remedy that. I really don't.
I think the remedy to that is more arc into his shot, because every time I see him shoot the ball, it's almost just like a direct line drive.
Yeah.
And it clanks front rim every time. Every time I see him shoot a 3, I'm like, that's going to be a line drive front rim. And it's a line drive front rim. And I'm like, guys, someone teach this kid some fucking arc or something. Like, otherwise, stop shooting a 3 and stay in the paint. Like, and one of my biggest issues too is the fact that there's times where the team knows what they're doing, and that's we need to get into the paint and get fouled, and they do that for an entire game. That for some reason in the fourth quarter, it's let's see how many threes we could just jack up and just miss, and they forgot the whole crux of what was working the entire game, dominating the paint with your 2 big centers. And it frustrates me more because, like you said, Jared Allen becomes non-existent in that fourth quarter. And I was watching a little some of the fourth quarter last night because I was at a soccer game last night, and all I see is Jared Allen turns into like a toddler in the paint in the fourth quarter. He doesn't rebound. Seems like he forgot how to catch a basketball, because every time I see Garland or Mobley or someone toss him the ball in the paint, he fumbles it all the time and it gets stolen. And it's like, dude, all I have to do is catch the ball and put it up. Yeah. I see him miss 2-foot floaters. Like, dude, you're 7 feet tall. You can't dunk it from 2 feet. Or he'll do he'll do a running floater and just miss it from 4 feet away. I'm like, you're 4 feet away from the basket. You're 7 foot tall with 7-foot wingspan. You're telling me you can't hit a 2-foot floater? How do you overhit a floater?
And yet he played such a good game against Minnesota. He was like 11 of 16 from the floor. He had over 20 points. I think
the core four all scored like 20 points that game. Like it was a beautiful game. I was like, this is the Cavs team. Like this is what they are capable of. They just can't get it together because then they go into this game against the Jazz and they get so infatuated with Kevin Love and being back that they forget how to play freaking basketball. And you're like, what'd you even show up for? Just just go ahead and wave the white flag. Just take the L if that's how you're going to show up, especially at home. Like, come on. Enough is enough. This front office and this GM, Kobe Altman, who I've never been a huge fan of, he's had his moments, but I've never been a big fan of his. Dude, if he keeps doing this stuff, he's going to get himself fired because Dan Gilbert is not going to take it. You already know it. Dan Gilbert has given him chance after chance after chance. And he's saying, listen, I'm blowing this team up with money. And if you can't get this team to produce and you can't make the moves that you need to do to keep this team going, I'm going to get you out of here because I love when the Cavs are good. And that's why Dan Gilbert always pays out. That's why he always shows up when it comes to the money. He doesn't care how much it takes to win. He's going to pay what he's got to do to get a good roster going. They've got to split it up. I have no idea what that's going to look like, but man, as much as I like these players individually, they're just not coexisting enough to where it's going to work. And
can we trade DeAndre Hunter for Lauri Markkanen back?
Dude, I would take him any day of the week. In fact, if we just want to like redact the Donovan trade and just get Lauri and Colin back, I mean, I think that would be I think that would be fair because like we don't even need the picks at this point. The picks are gone. But like, dude, if this Cavs team keeps struggling, Donovan is going to want to leave in the next year or two anyway. Like he's going to make himself very clear of like, listen, if I'm going to be here, I'm turning 30. I don't want to keep losing. It's like, I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of getting an early round exit. I want to contend for championships. And if I'm not at this time of my career where he's kind of like that sort of Dwayne Wade type of player, I think that's like one of the better comps to make of him, especially because his play style very much the same.
Yeah. And you know what baffles me about last night too? Both teams shot about the same percentage.
Yeah.
48% from the field for Utah, 46% from the field for the Cavs, 44% from three from Utah, 42% from three from the Cavs. 50 rebounds for the Jazz, 30 for the Cavs.
Yeah, that's the difference.
And it's because we just love getting out-rebounded. And it's out-rebounded by a lot. We were out-rebounded by 20. And one of those rebounds I saw, it was Nurkic over Jared Allen. And guess what? Jared Allen stood there and watched the ball bank off the rim. And you see Nurkic just come up right next to him, hover over him, grab it, and just put up a quick layup. And it's like, what is Jared Allen doing? Go up for the ball, dude. You're staring at it like it's something you've never seen before. Grab the ball. And it pisses me off. To be honest, dude, I kind of want to see like maybe Naquan Tomlin start over Jared Allen, like kind of say like screw it. Or, start Jalen Tyson over Jared Allen. Just have Evan Mobley be the direct center and just make it like Garland, Mitchell, Merrill, Tyson, and Mobley as a starting five. Like, just drop Allen to the bench.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather see a guy like Jalen Tyson who actually fights for this team, or Naquan Tomlin who actually fights for this team and actually, do something. Because I think both finished with more points, and I think both finished with more rebounds than Jared Allen. They both came off the bench last night, and they finished with better stats than Jared Allen. And I'm going to double check to make sure.
Yeah.
Allen had 8 points, 4 rebounds. Jalen Tyson had 11 points, 4 rebounds. And Naquan Tomlin had 13 points and 4 rebounds.
Yeah.
So both had the same amount of rebounds as Allen and about 5 more points than Jared Allen.
Yeah, and I know
Craig Porter Jr. had the same amount of rebounds as
Yeah.
Jared Allen, and he's he's smaller than all three of those guys.
And but I mean, we've said this too. As a guard, he is a pretty good rebounder for sure.
He's had I think 8 or 9 in the last like 6 games in a row too.
Oh yeah, it's weird
Jared
too because Mobley hasn't really had a whole lot of rebounds either, but the team's overall rebounding is better because I think he actually tries to box out a little better. So it seems like Jared Allen just doesn't put his body to body on people, and that's what starves him from getting more and more rebounds, because it's not like he's not totally capable of getting 15 rebounds in a game. We've seen it from him. Like, we've seen him get 12 rebounds in a game, 14, 15, have 2 or 3 blocks. Like,
I think he had a 20 rebounder last year.
Yeah, he did. Like, I'm pretty sure he had like a 2020 game actually.
Yeah.
In that one. Like, it's weird, man. This team is so confusing. They have no business being this bad, and yet they've continued to be this bad. And like I said, I just, the only way out of this is clearing some house. You don't have to clear it all out, but you gotta be willing to make peace with the fact that this current lineup and these current guys on this team don't mesh. And it's okay to just admit that, because once you do, you can make the necessary choice. The fact of the matter is, they're not. The team is not in a good spot right now, and it's not really getting any better. I mean, it's gotten a little bit better. Their offense is improving. I think their scoring is starting to get back up into like the top 10 of the league. But it doesn't matter if you're not playing defense, and it surely doesn't matter if you're getting rebounded by 20 plus rebounds as a team a game. It's just not acceptable at all. So I don't really know what else to say besides the front office just has to wake up and start realizing that this thing isn't going to get any better unless they actually do something about it. Or this team is just going to continue to kind of be here and there, and we're never going to really know what it's like to get to a Eastern Conference Finals at this point with this team, let alone out of the first round. And that's just facts. Like, that's just what it is right now.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I could just kind of go on and on about this team, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna waste my breath on him.
No. There's no reason to. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of touch on the Cavs and just kind of give them a little rant, because they've been very frustrating. Because every time I get to watch them, they seem to play a little bit better, and then you just don't get to watch them, and then they just throw up a dud, and you're like, what the heck happened? Like, what is up with this team? So I will never ever know. But let's go ahead and switch roles here and get back to the Browns head coaching search, because, as we said, there is a lot of candidates to go through. And since the last time that we recorded, Miami got rid of Mike McDaniel, who recently just interviewed for the job for the Browns. But there is quite an extensive list of head coaching candidates that the Browns have since put out. I actually have the screenshot here that I'm going to pull up. I'm not going to pull it up on the screen. You can if you want, though.
I was going to say, I have the Daryl Ryder one if you want me to pull that up.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Hold on, let me see if I can't zoom in a little bit on it.
Yeah.
So that way it could be.
Yeah, because it's not even readable right now.
How's that?
A little bit more.
A little bit more? You got it.
Yeah, like 1 or 2 more.
We'll go 200.
There we go. Perfect. Okay, cool. So yeah, obviously the Browns have interviewed Jim Schwartz and Tommy Rees. That's pretty obvious. Although it was kind of interesting that they interviewed Rees as a head coach. It really does confirm that the team does enjoy him, and they do think highly of him. So that was a cool way to see that. But I think Schwartz was an easy choice
really go at it. Go after first. And honestly, if Harbaugh doesn't end up being a leader at this point in this search, I think Jim Schwartz is probably up there as like one of the top guys, because it's been pretty well known now that all of the guys that they've interviewed with, they've all said that they would like to try to retain Jim Schwartz. That's like part of their pitch. So if you're going to make that your pitch, might as well just have it be with him, because I'm pretty sure he interviewed with the Ravens earlier this week as well. So, I mean, that's going to happen. But anyways, continuing on, they also interviewed Bengals offensive coordinator Dan Pitcher, Seahawks DC Aiden Dirty. I'm pretty sure I'm saying his name right. Ravens OC Todd Monken, which is one of the first guys that they interviewed with outside of the Browns team. And then obviously I said earlier, they also interviewed with Mike McDaniel. They have a interview scheduled for the following guys: Rams pass game specialist Nate Shilhassi. I'm probably butchering the hell out of that name.
Shilhassi.
Yeah, Shilhassi. Close enough. Bright young kid is what he is, and he's obviously a part of the McVay. He's part of the McVay tree, so obviously guys are going to be pretty high on him. Next is Chargers DDC Jesse Minter, who has been a hot name in general around the league. He's probably going to be one of those guys that winds up getting a job. And then one of my favorites, Jaguars OC Grant Udinsky. I believe he's like 30 or 31 years old. He's like no more than we are.
Yeah.
But he is a bright young man.
He is.
Very, very smart. Every time you hear him talk, you're just like, okay, this guy knows football. He's very, 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 very smart. So the little, one eyeglass emojis are guys that they have not scheduled, but it is kind of up in the air of like, okay, these are guys that I would look out for. So obviously one of them is Harbaugh. We have not officially interviewed with him, but I believe they did have an extensive phone call with him, is what we've been told. But that hasn't also been like totally confirmed. So we'll see what comes out once he does make his choice. I haven't really heard that he's been in that we've been in his top four. It sounds like Miami, Atlanta, and the Titans are really in like his top three. So we'll see. It's obviously not over by any means, but he is still there. Then we got Bills, OC Joe Brady, which I think the only reason why he really hasn't been interviewed yet is because the Bills moved on after defeating the Jaguars this weekend. And then obviously Rams defensive coordinator Chris Shula and Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, which I'm not really high on him. Don't really care for him. They blew an 18-point lead against the Bears this weekend. I'm good on that. Really surprised that a name we haven't really seen mentioned is Saleh. Dude, Robert Saleh, like when we were getting ready to hire Stefanski, Robert Saleh was the guy that I really wanted before Stefanski got hired. I just think he's a really good leader and a really good coach. And he's proven that he definitely still has it. It was just the Jets was a really bad place for him to go. And he was just kind of dead to rights, especially after they screwed up the quarterback room. Not once, not twice, but 3 times under his regime. So really sucked for him. But guys, that's the list. So, just so far. That's a pretty extensive list. And the fact that they've already interviewed with about 5 or 6 people and have another 3 on the way. It's interesting. They're definitely keeping their options very frugal and very open. And I think that is positive. And I also think that is a good strategy. You need to sort out who you like and who you don't. And also the other thing that people don't really take into consideration too is you may not be interviewing these guys for just the head coaching role. Like, let's say you decide to get a Jim Schwartz, but let's say you don't want to keep Reese, or let's say Reese goes and takes a head coaching role in college, like that's been talked about.
then you can go after a guy like a Todd Monken, or you can go after a guy like, Grant Udinski, or even, Joe Brady, even like McDaniel with Jim Schwartz would be tough. There's options. Even that Nate Shilhassi. Again, just one of those guys that's like, they're young, they know what they're talking about, and they're probably good at at least play calling. So you can use those names in more than just head coaching. But I don't know, man. I did list some of my current favorites. I also obviously like Minter. But who are some of the guys in your mind that you're like, yeah, those are the guys that I would pick out of all these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I as I told you before we started, I'm definitely on the side of maybe going someone younger, because obviously fresher ideas could be a lot better, and I think a lot of the success we've seen in the NFL now have come from younger head coaches. And I think you're seeing a reason why a lot of guys like your John Harbaughs are getting fired, your Mike Tomlin's leaving the Steelers. You saw Bill Belichick go to North Carolina. I think there's a big reason why, and it's because a lot of these guys are kind of just outdated and their philosophies. Like, yeah, everything worked pre 2013 and even maybe a little bit after 2013, but we're getting to an era now where the younger coaches are definitely taking over and doing a lot more. Your Clint, or your the guy in Minnesota. I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now.
Yeah,
but he's been really good. You have Matt LaFleur, who's doing really well. Sean McVay, who's doing really well. Kyle Shanahan, who's doing really well. So you have young guys in the NFL who are definitely performing really well with their teams. So I'm on kind of like your side a little bit. Like, I wouldn't mind going after like a Jesse Minter or like a Grant Udinski, a Dan Pitcher, an Aiden Durda. Some of these younger guys, your Joe Brady's, your Halfleys, your Shulas. I mean, I wouldn't even mind that Nate Shilhasa.
Yeah.
Because again, like you said, he's up and coming, but he's intelligent as hell. But these guys are in like their early to mid 30s.
Yeah.
And they're already getting head coaching jobs, and there's a reason why. It's because a lot of what they do works. I mean, pass game specialist, the Rams pass game was one of the best this season so far. And a lot of it is probably due to Nate Shilhasa. Jesse Minter had the Chargers defense looking pretty good this year.
Yeah.
Grant Udinski, oh my God, what he did with the Jags this year is unreal. He made them a 13-win football team or 12-win football team. So a lot of these guys who are young are really good, and I do like those younger guys. So I do like a Jesse Minter, Grant Udinski. I do like a Nate Shilhasa. I wouldn't, and I know a lot of people are against Mike McDaniel. I wouldn't mind it. He made the playoffs 3 out of 4 seasons in Miami. So I'm not one to put him down just yet and be like, absolutely not. So, and we had Mike McDaniel before. He knows Cleveland well. We had him here before as I think a wide receiver coach when Kyle Shanahan was the head coach, and this was in 2014.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be opposed to give him a shot. Now, again, I wouldn't mind, a John Harbaugh, because Jim Harbaugh did come to the Chargers and take them to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I'm not opposed to older style coaches. Like, I would be more than happy to have John Harbaugh, or if you gave an interview to Mike Tomlin, because those guys are proven winners and very, very successful.
Yeah.
So you can't just toss that out the window. So John Harbaugh is still on my radar for sure. I know Mike Tomlin just entered my radar after he left Pittsburgh today. But yeah, those are kind of like my favorites. are some of the younger guys on this list, including Harbaugh and maybe Mike Tomlin. So I do like a little bit of those guys.
Yeah. I mean, when Mike Tomlin is a guy I didn't even really mention. The only reason why I didn't say his name really is because I actually think he's going to be done for a little bit. Like I think you could see him almost similarly being in like a Sean Payton era or a time where he takes a year or two off, and then he has to get traded because the Steelers still have his rights. He just stepped down as the coach. He didn't quit or he didn't get fired. That's the key. So if Tomlin decides he wants to come back and coach, it's going to be like Sean Payton again. It's going to be getting traded somewhere. And if that's the case, who knows who is going to want to do that type of move again?
Mm-hmm.
And it's bode well for the Broncos and Sean Payton because they're still doing pretty good. But they also were fortunate that despite the horrible cap spot that Russ put them in, they were able to get a good quarterback in the following year and get rid of him and say, you know what, we are just going to eat this cap anyway, because by the time it's done, Bo Nix is going to be due for his money and he's earned it. So they got lucky. Like they made it happen. And I wish the Browns would take what the Broncos did and just say, listen, this is what we got to do now. Like this is the path that we have to take. You already have your defense pre-built now. You just got to keep it intact and then go upgrade this offense, see what you got at quarterback, and then figure it the F out. But the Browns got to get this coach done first. Again, I think the safest bet is Jim Schwartz. Just upgrade him to head coach and let him decide if he wants to keep Reese or if Reese wants to go and then he wants to go bring in a Mike McDaniel, because I think that would be a fun duo. I think that would be interesting because then it would take Mike McDaniel away from being everything and just letting him just be a play caller and letting him control the offense only. I think that is where he will get back to good stuff. But again, Grant Udinski, if he does get hired, I will be excited about him. Just really bright guy, really, really, really bright. Very, very smart in terms of football, and I think he did a great job with Trevor this year. And obviously, it proved well for them because they went 13-4. I mean, yeah, they lost to the Bills, but it's because they lost to Josh Allen, and they lost to Josh Allen in the final minutes. You can't really listen. Once Josh Allen has it, he has it. It just is what it is. And listen, if this is the year ever that the Bills can finally get there, this has to be their year that they fight through it and get there, because the AFC is so wide open. It's not even funny. So, yeah, I think there's some really good guys on here. I'm sure we'll hear a few more names, but I hope that the Browns don't drag this on for too long, unless they are waiting for a certain guy like a Robert Saleh or a Joe Brady. That would be the only reason possible that they would drag this on for more than another week. I expect them to announce it while I'm on vacation next week. Like literally, I'm gonna probably miss it because I'm gonna be on vacation, not even gonna be able to get on here to talk with you guys about it in the moment. It's gonna suck, but I'm just gonna make peace with that now because I know that's what's gonna happen. But I'll at least have a TV to be able to keep me in the loop, so that I won't be totally off the grid. I just won't be able to use my phone like much at all. Because we'll be in the Caribbean. But yeah, man, I don't know. That's pretty much all I got. This is like probably, I would say, the shortest episode that we've ever made. Maybe.
Yeah, I think it is.
So I don't know. You want to do a quick playoff predict and then just head off?
Yeah, we could do a quick playoff predict.
Yeah, might as well. There's only a few more teams left, so it won't be too long.
Yeah. Well, let me go to ESPN and pull up the.
Yeah, just do that. There's no reason to.
NFL playoffs. Here we go. Playoff bracket. Sorry. All right. So we'll start off in the AFC divisional round. You have the Broncos and Bills. And Denver, obviously.
This is gonna be a tough one. I'm definitely rooting for the Bills. I think I'm actually good. Man, I really want the Bills to win this freaking game, man. As long as the Broncos don't come out like flat, the Broncos should win, but they're pretty evenly matched on offense. It's just the Broncos D defense, I think, is a lot better than the Bills defense. That's my only reasoning why I'm leaning towards the Broncos. But I'm gonna go upset city. I'm going Bills.
Yeah, I want the Bills to win just because I just want them to win. But I'm going with the Denver Broncos. I just think their defense is really, really good. And I think they've only lost one game at home all season this year. So that obviously is going to factor in this game too. And the Bills almost choked it against Jacksonville. So
yeah,
I'm going to go with the Broncos in this game. Texans and Patriots in New England.
The Pats should take care of business. I don't know if they'll blow them out by any means. This will be a lot closer than both teams just had this past weekend. But the Pats are definitely a better squad. And I think Nico Collins might be hurt for this game. And if so, that's going to just be detrimental to Houston. It's going to be hard for them to win without him. So with that said, I'm going Pats.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Pats too, because again, like you said, Nico Collins might be out. And I know it's kind of crazy because the Pats didn't score that many points against the Chargers. The game, it was only 16-3.
Something like that.
16-3 against the Chargers. Yeah. So it's not like
their defense was just impeccable that game.
This was just absolutely impeccable. But and I think this is going to be a very defensive football game too.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think it's going to be a close one, and I do think the Pats are going to squeak it out. Seahawks and 49ers.
This is this is probably, I would say, the best game out of the four. I have a really aching feeling that the 49ers are going to do this. They're just playing good ball right now.
Yeah.
They just kind of have everything going. In the Seahawks, I don't know what version of Sam Darnold is going to show up, because the Seahawks defense is going to be good. Like we know that. But I'm not sure what Sam Darnold's going to do. And I think the big key with the 49ers as well, they're getting Fred Warner back. That is humongous for that defense.
That's huge.
Who's already playing well. Because of all of that, dude, I'm going 49ers. I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to beat the Seahawks.
I agree with you. I think the 49ers are going to beat the Seahawks. When I saw that that he was coming back from injury, I was like, this is done. This is a huge return for the defense. And again, I just don't trust the Seahawks. I feel like the Seahawks are going to be like the Minnesota Vikings with Sam Darnold. I think they're just going to choke it.
Yeah.
I really think they're going to choke it. And then the final game, we have the Bears and Rams. This one's actually going to be very interesting.
It is. I do think the Rams are going to get the best of them, though. The Bears got lucky, and, despite them beating the Packers weren't really necessarily a great football team. The Bears have been playing good ball, and they're a fun story to have, and they're going to be just as good starting next season as well. But Caleb Williams also got lucky. He didn't play super, super well. He had he missed a lot of throws, but he came in clutch at the end. Listen, I give it to him. But the Rams are just a solid football team. Yes, they almost lost to the Panthers, but dude, you gotta get it through your head of this is the playoffs. Teams are gonna play better anyway. But I just think the Rams are just better. We'll see, I guess, what the status will be of Adams. I guess he could be hurt. I don't know what's going on with them, but they've just been a well-oiled machine on offense. It's really hard for me to not back and kind of support Matt Stafford after all of these years. He's played an outstanding year this year. I don't see it really slowing down. So because of that, I am going Rams.
Yeah, I'm going with the Rams too, just because, like you said, Matt Stafford, this is the best he's looked since probably the Super Bowl in 2021 or 2021. This is the best he's looked. And when Matt Stafford looks this good, he's so hard to beat when he plays this well. And as long as Puka Nacua is healthy, that's all that matters. Because as long as he's got Puka's going to go for over 100 receiving yards and a touchdown or two as always. So as long as he's got his favorite target, he's good. And they still have one of the better O-lines in the league. Their defense is really good. And I don't see Caleb Williams playing well in this game. The defense did help him quite a bit in the last game. I don't think he gets it done this game. I think he makes too many mistakes. I think he gets a couple interceptions thrown, and maybe a fumble loss or something on a sack. So I'm going to take the Rams in this game.
Hell yeah!
All right. Well, that was easy. Nice little predicts.
Yeah. I mean, I just felt bad for getting the episode done at like 38 minutes. I was like, let's add another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Why not? Who cares? But anyways, guys, that is pretty much going to do it for us. We will see. Well, you won't see me next week, unfortunately, as I will be on vacation. So I'm so sorry. But you might see Andrew. You might not. We'll see what happens. I don't know what he will be, planned for you guys. But you won't see me next week. So the following week, when I'm back from vacation, hopefully we will have some more answers about the Browns head coaching vacancy. And hey, let's hope some baseball news hits. Screw it. Let's get the Guardians to do something, please.
Yeah, before we get out of here, guys, obviously check out our sponsor, Effortless Wins, for sports betting advice in place to boost your wins. Talk to Tony or Greg. Links are in the description. Like Zach said, baseball's coming up. We got spring training, and I believe towards the end of February. So baseball's coming up. We're in the height of the NFL playoffs. Obviously, NCAA basketball is going on. You have NHL. You still have a couple more bowl games and some games going on in college football. So a lot to bet on right now. Be sure you guys go talk to Tony or Greg. Links will be in the description. And, they're going to help you win some bets.
Sir, yes, they will. Alrighty, guys, that is going to do it for us. We will see you next time.